Chapter 91. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yun Shan raised his head with difficulty, and then his eyes shifted to Li Xiao, who was sitting on the chair and drinking tea, and his heart skipped a beat. Dou Zun is a strong bodyguard. Pavilion Master. At this time, Yun Shan thought back to what Hufa Ding said to him back then. He vaguely remembered that Hufa Duck said that there was an auction house in the Warcraft Mountains. The auction items are also unique treasures. Could it be that the person in front of him is the owner of the auction house? Yun Shan's breathing became short of breath. You are the owner of the auction house, right, Junior Yun Shan? You have met the owner, Li Xiao said softly. Sect Master Yun Shan, I didn't expect you to know me. It seems that guy told you a lot. As soon as the words fell, Li Xiao gave Bai Ling a look. Although Yun Shan didn't like him, he was Yun Yun's teacher. If he died, Yun Yun would probably blame herself. Bai Ling's fingers moved slightly, and the energy pressing on Yun Shan disappeared, which allowed Yun Shan, who was in a state of panic, to return to calm. However, with both legs broken, he can only take high-level healing pills, and cooperate with the battle energy in his body to repair the damaged meridians and bones. Yun Yun wanted to step forward to help, but was stopped by Li Xiao. Sometimes it is not necessary to give Yun Shan such a big face. Thank you, Pavilion Master Li Xiao. Yun Shan arched his hands and said, I was rude just now. I hope Pavilion Master Li Xiao is not to blame. Li Xiao took a sip of tea, and said softly, since Master Yun Shan is so polite, should we deal with the matter in front of us? Yun Shan turned his head to look at Yun Lang, who was crying, and also realized that Pavilion Master Li Xiao was telling him and that sometimes he had to know where he was standing. Otherwise, I won't know how I disappeared until I die. But no matter what Yun Ling said, he was the great elder of the Yunlan sect, and it was unreasonable to die at the hands of an outsider. After pondering for a long time, Yun Shan finally opened his mouth and said, Xiao Yan, a disciple of the Xiao family, right? Yun Ling, I am very sorry for what you have done to the Xiao family. Great Elder Yun Ling can kill him, but he cannot die in your hands. What did you say? Xiao Yan frowned. Sect Master Yun Shan, Yun Ling killed so many people in our Xiao family, yet you still want to protect him. It's not that I'm protecting him. The old man knows Yun Ling's character. However, Yun Ling is still the great elder of the Misty Cloud sect. If he just dies in your hands, the Misty Yun sect will lose face in the future. When Xiao Yan heard Yun Shan's explanation, his eyes were fierce and ferocious. The old dog Yun Ling slaughtered the descendants of the Xiao family, and his head was bound to be his own. Yun Shan, let me respect you, senior, don't rely on me to sell you here, I said. I want the head of the old dog Yun Ling, otherwise, I will destroy your Yunlan sect. Li Xiao was also a little speechless by Xiao Yan's demeanor. He had already made his words so clear, but this guy didn't agree, and he also knew what was in this guy's head. Xiao Yan didn't bother to talk nonsense. He fused the animal fire with the cold fire of the bone spirit, and the surging power continued like a surging river. Which made Yun Shan so angry. Yun Shan's face also became gloomy. What is his status? He doesn't give himself face. Does he really regard himself as a person who can be compared with Yunlanzong? Xiao Yan, I would like to say one more thing. The crimes committed by Yun Ling will be dealt with by me personally, and it is not your turn to point fingers here. Yun Shan said angrily, if Pavilion Master Li Xiao is not here, this old man will definitely eat you alive. Yun Shan, you forced me. Xiao Yan said angrily, staring at the two flames of different colors on his palm. At this moment, there was an uproar in the Yunlan sect. No one thought that this fusion of different fires would produce such a powerful force. This is simply shocking, Bai Ling whispered. Master, do you need me to suppress Xiao Yan? There's no need for that. Li Xiao waved his hand and said, this is their Yunlan sect's business, we just need to be onlookers. Yun Shan was well aware of the energy produced by this flame, and shouted loudly, everyone stop his movements, absolutely don't let him fuse the flame. All the fighting kings except Yun Yun nodded at the same time, their wings fluttered lightly on their backs, their bodies turned into a breeze, and flew towards Xiao Yan like lightning. Xiao Yan snorted coldly. With the help of his teacher, he could complete the fusion of different fires almost instantly. Under the terrifying flames, there were only a few fighters who were full of fear. Yunleng, who was still in high spirits, suddenly froze in place. He didn't expect the opponent's fusion speed to be so fast, even faster than when he was fighting against Nalan Yanran. "Old dog Yunling, your life is mine, die to me, drink." The seal knot in his hand suddenly knotted. Xiao Yan shouted with a ferocious face. "Don't! Xiao Yan, don't!" Yunling was completely terrified. He knew very well that this blow was enough to wipe him out. "Old sect master, save me!" Yunshan frowned, and quickly rushed towards Xiao Yan's position, but he was still in mid-air, and the strange fire had already exploded in front of Yunling. A bang! An ear-piercing roar suddenly sounded, and a destructive mushroom cloud also rose into the sky. The aftermath caused everyone within 100 miles couldn't help casting curious glances. "I don't understand what happened to Yunlanzong." Not only that, the sky above the misty cloud sect was like a purgatory on earth. The trees were burned, and most of the dead monsters were already dead or injured. It was like a scene of doomsday. The disciples of the Zongmen lay on the ground and howled in pain. If Xiao Yan hadn't controlled the strength well, everyone in the Misty Cloud sect would have been swallowed by the energy generated by the strange fire. The place where the Buddha's wrath fire lotus blooms is full of devastation, and the remaining flames will not fade for a long time. Anyone except a dosher who touches it will suffer from the pain of the strange fire. The originally towering main hall was completely knocked down by nearly half. Yun Shan, the old lord of the Yunlan sect, was furious as he grabbed Yunling, who was no longer moving. At this time, Yunling's meridians had been cut off, and there was no chance for further treatment. But he still threw Yunling casually at the feet of Yunlei and Yun Sheng. He said coldly, "Xiao Yan, over the years, you are still the first person to tell me that the Misty Cloud sect has been destroyed like this. I really underestimated you. Go ask Elder Furukawa to help him and see if he can save his life." After the two elders bowed their hands, they immediately turned around and flew towards the residence of King Dan Guha, but from Yunling's appearance, he was completely hopeless, and he was still alive because of the vortex in Do Wang's body. Once the cyclone disappears, within an hour or 3/4, Yunling will undoubtedly die. End of this chapter. Chapter 92 Direct Suppression. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yunling's death made Yun Shan very angry. As the saying goes, it depends on the owner to beat a dog. He has already given Xiao Yan face, not only letting him leave the Misty Cloud sect safely, but also executing Yunling in front of him. Who would have thought that not only did Xiao Yan not follow his instructions, but instead rashly killed Yunling? Did he really think that Misty Yunzong was a soft persimmon, anyone could squeeze it? Anger welled up in his heart, but Yun Shan's eyes stayed on Pavilion Master Li Xiao. Previously, Li Xiao's intention was obviously to avenge Xiao Yan, but now that the matter has developed to this point, how can it be brought to an end? Li Xiao frowned slightly and said, "Xiao Yan, isn't it a little too much for you to do this?" Xiao Yan arched his hands and said, "Pavilion Master Li Xiao, this junior just killed Yunlang, and did not attack the disciples of the Misty Yun sect. This can be regarded as the utmost benevolence. You're presumptuous." Yun Shan roared angrily, "You ruined my Misty Cloud sect to such a state, do you think it's just so hasty? Then you ruined my Xiao family, how can you explain it?" Xiao Yan was also not to be outdone. "There are also Yun Sheng and Yun Lei, they have to pay for their lives. It's almost enough, Xiao Yan, my patience is limited." Li Xiao said suddenly at this moment, Yunling was dead, and Yun Misty sect was destroyed like this again. If the original plot continues, the Misty Cloud sect will be destroyed one day in the future. This is what Li Xiao doesn't want to see, and Yun doesn't want the place where she has lived for decades to be destroyed either. Xiao Yan's eyes were solemn, but he didn't dare to show any angry expression anymore. Even the teacher had already persuaded him just now to accept it as soon as it was good. Yunling was already dead, so it would definitely not be a clear move to continue to be an enemy of the Misty Yun sect. Moreover, consuming the teacher's soul power in such a way would do him no good. Yun Shan was a little unhappy. If Xiao Yan destroyed his sect, killed his elders, and just let him go, how would the Yunlan sect gain a foothold in the Jia Ma Empire in the future? Do you have an opinion? Bai Ling seemed to know what Yun Shan was thinking, and stared at him coldly. "I'm not afraid to tell you, if you dare to fight again without the permission of the pavilion master, I will solve the problem immediately." Sighed. "Don't question whether the deity has this ability." Bai Ling's voice was like the god of death from hell, and everyone on the field couldn't help swallowing their saliva, and some even lay down on the ground, fearing that this strong man would kill them again. Yun Shan's expression was moved, but in the end he suppressed the restlessness in his heart, and said calmly, "Since this is Pavilion Master Li Xiao's idea, Yun Shan agrees. What about you?" Bai Ling looked at Xiao Yan and asked. Xiao Yan also knew that he would accept it when he saw it, and bowed his hands. "This junior agrees." Li Xiao nodded in satisfaction. In this way, the hatred between the Xiao family and the Yunlanzong could be resolved, but for this matter, I still need to find the guardian Dharma. As a true fan of fighting the sky, I naturally know what the Soul Palace wants. However, Xiao Zhan's Tuasha ancient Emperor Jade had already been taken away by him, so the Soul Hall powerhouse was also in vain, and Xiao Zhan would definitely be arrested and tortured. Li Xiao waved his hand, indicating that everyone can leave. Under the witness of everyone, Xiao Yan swaggered away from the Misty Cloud sect. His high-spirited appearance also aroused the hatred of many people, but then what can be done? The old suzerain no longer pursued and killed Xiao Yan. Yun murmured softly, "You are a bad embryo, so the teacher can't get off the table. I'm helping your Misty Cloud sect." Li Xiao secretly took Yun's little hand and said, "If Xiao Yan and your Misty Yun sect come to a situation where there is no end to death, the future will be a catastrophe." Ghosts believe. Yun curled her lips. The Misty Cloud sect has a strong background, and with the presence of the monster puppet, the Misty Yun sect is equivalent to having two strong fighters of the Dou zone. In this small northwest region, they can be regarded as top-notch powerhouses. Li Xiao knew that Yun didn't want to believe it, but she didn't want to reveal it anymore. Sometimes it's better not to let it happen if you hide the plot. Xiao Yan's path has been disrupted by himself. Without Qinglian's heart fire, Queen Medusa, and Ice Emperor Hebedong, he can only rely on Yao Lao's soul power to survive. If he meets someone from Soul Hall in the future, I'm afraid his life will also come to an end. Yun Shan closed his eyes in pain, and after a few minutes of meditation, he came to Pavilion Master Li Xiao. When he saw two people holding hands, the corner of Yun Shan's mouth twitched unconsciously, and as expected, Xun'er had a relationship with Pavilion Master Li Xiao. However, Yun Shan did not break it and kept the original appearance. "Pavilion Master Li Xiao, this place is messy, and the younger generation will arrange sect disciples to repair it later. Please move to the main hall with me." It's work. Xiao Yan at the foot of the mountain was also still in shock. When he came to a corner, his legs went limp, and he slumped on the ground. He wiped the sweat off his head and gasped, "Teacher, the woman beside Pavilion Master Li Xiao is too scary." With just one look, I felt that the cyclone was going to be shattered. Yao Chen's soul body appeared beside Xiao Yan, stroked his mustache, and said with a smile, "It's only natural. Do you know this woman's strength?" From what Yun Shan said earlier, he should be a Dou zone powerhouse. Xiao Yan said dumbfounded. More than. As a former Dou zone, Yao Chen can judge the strength of the opponent through the aura of the other party. Bai Ling gives him a feeling like a stormy sea. If he guesses right, this person's cultivation base has reached the rank 9 Dou zone, exactly the same as him back then. Yao Chen said, "The Dengtian Pavilion has a solid background, but Pavilion Master Li Xiao takes care of you intentionally or unintentionally." "Yeah," Xiao Yan nodded, "I can see that. Otherwise, when the master of the Yunlan sect was angry, he wouldn't have acted to frighten Yun Shan." Yao Lao also nodded, but he was even more curious about Li Xiao's identity, why there is such a background in the world. The 8 ancient families can already be regarded as the ceiling of Douqi continent, but Yao Chen has never seen these factions able to auction off the 8-rank Bodhi Pill of Bone Spirit Lenghua and 8-color Sky Thunder. Every treasure, not to mention expensive, is also considered unique, but in the eyes of the owner of the Dengtian Pavilion, it seems that all these are just commonplace. All in all, the forces behind Dengtian Pavilion are absolutely astonishing, even far surpassing the 8 ancient families. Xiao Yan stood up after slowing down for a while, and said softly, "Since the Misty Cloud sect's revenge has been avenged, we should send the clansmen away from Wutan City. No one can guarantee whether these guys will return to their carbine. Be prepared. Well, it makes sense. But presumably in the near future, the Misty Cloud sect won't have any other means. End of this chapter. Chapter 93 Li Xiao's Expectations for the Ancient Tomb. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Inside the Yunlanzong Hall, Sect Master Yunshan filled Li Xiao's tea in person, and said with a smile, Pavilion Master Li Xiao, what happened earlier is very offending. I hope Pavilion Master Li Xiao will not take it to heart. Li Xiao took a sip of tea and said, Sect Master Yunshan is serious. I am not a small-minded person. Besides, there is a relationship with Xun'er. How can I blame you? Yunshan chuckled. Without outsiders, his attitude seemed to have changed 180 degrees. Xun'er can find a man like you. As a teacher, I am also very pleased. When Yunshan lied, his face was neither red nor heartbeat, and he said very seriously, Xun'er, from today onwards, you will follow Pavilion Master Li Xiao properly. You represent not only an individual, but also Yunlanzong, and me, understand? A blush suddenly appeared on Yunyun's pretty face without warning. The disciple understands. Like a matchmaker, Yunshan smiled and said, Pavilion Master Li Xiao, if I can be used in the future, I will definitely not refuse. Just now, the Lord of Yunshan Mountain had already learned everything about Dengtian Pavilion from Xun'er, and after knowing that there were several strong fighters in Dengtian Pavilion, he was more certain in his heart that Li Xiao Pavilion Master was not from the northwest continent, and even had possibly from the Zhongzhou continent. That's why Sect Master Yunshan's demeanor was so frivolous at this time. Sect Master Yunshan is polite. Li Xiao hugged Yunyun in front of Yunshan, causing Yunyun to blush, but without any strength to struggle, he let Li Xiao touch his cheek. At this moment, a cloud of black mist suddenly filled the hall of the Misty Cloud sect, and the disgusting smell rushed over. Yunyun, who was immersed in her husband's embrace, was startled and immediately drew out her weapon. Who? Dai Mei frowned. Yunyun gritted her teeth and scolded, You dare to trespass on the Misty Cloud sect, you are so brave. After the black mist dissipated, a man in black suddenly appeared in front of them. The man in black cast a glance at Yunyun and smiled, Little girl, brother is not a bad person. Who knows if you are? Guardian Duck smiled indifferently, turned his head and bowed to the position of Pavilion Master Li Xiao. Guardian Duck in the Soul Palace, pay homage to Pavilion Master Li Xiao. Seeing that the visitor respected Pavilion Master Li Xiao so much, Yunyun also heaved a sigh of relief, thinking it was an enemy of Dozong from outside. It doesn't matter. Li Xiao said softly, Guardian, I heard that you arrested someone in Zhao's house. Is there such a thing? Guardian Duck did not hide the truth, nodded, and responded, Yes, Pavilion Master Li Xiao, this person is named Xiao Zhan, and there is something beside him that is very useful for our Soul Palace, so I was sent to deal with it. His stuff is on me. Hearing this, Guardian Duck raised his head abruptly, and looked at Pavilion Master Li Xiao who was sitting on the chair in surprise. You know what that is? Naturally. Li Xiao put down the teacup in his hand, nodded and said, That item has already become the item of Dengtian Pavilion. If you are interested, you can auction it in future auctions. Guardian Duck said anxiously, Pavilion Master, I wonder if you can sell it to me alone. Tell me the number, no matter how much it is, my soul hall will not refuse. Although he didn't know what the Tuasha Ancient Emperor Jade was really useful for, his superiors attached great importance to it, and even made this piece of jade a must-have. Li Xiao said indifferently, Since Guardian Duck knows the value of this thing, I also know that I, Li Xiao, saw someone sell it privately, and your Soul Palace has not caught my eye yet. Guardian Duck's expression was ugly. Unexpectedly Pavilion Master Li Xiao directly rejected his request. Just when he was disappointed, Li Xiao's next words revived his hope. If I want to auction the Tuasha Ancient Emperor Jade, I will notify you Soul Palace in advance, and it will be the reward for this time. Hearing this, Guardian Duck was overjoyed, and his voice was incomparable. Really, that's great, thank you Pavilion Master Li Xiao. If the Palace Master knows, I will definitely not let you down. That's what will happen in the future. Li Xiao picked up the teacup and shook it lightly, so, where is Xiao Zhan? Guardian Duck didn't dare to be negligent, and directly threw the unconscious Xiao Zhan on the ground. This is the head of the Xiao family, but I don't understand, why do you want to help the Xiao family? You don't need to know about this. The main reason why Li Xiao helped the Xiao family was for their ancestor Xiao Xian, as the last patriarch of the Xiao clan among the 8 ancient clans, is quite powerful, an inexhaustible genius of the Xiao clan, the ancestor of the Xiao family of the Jiao Ma Empire, the head of the 5 most powerful fighters in the Dou continent thousands of years ago, the peak of the 9-star fighting saint in the late stage, and only 1 step away from the Dou Emperor level, after. Realizing that the power of the Xiao clan's blood was exhausted, he decided to gather the blood of the whole clan to break through to Emperor Dou and reactivate the blood of Emperor Dou, but failed due to the lack of origin energy between heaven and earth. Later, he was besieged by the powerful Soul clan, and died of serious injuries. The remnant soul was stored in the celestial tomb, waiting for the arrival of the Xiao clan. Xiao Xian's ancient tomb is located in the ancient world of the ancient clan, but that ancient tomb has a strange power. People of the ancient clan cannot enter at all, although some powerful profound practitioners from the ancient clan could force their way in. Xiao Xian was kind to the ancient clan after all, and they didn't dare to intrude recklessly, so for so many years, no one was able to enter that ancient tomb. When he fell, he had left behind a large amount of blood power, and once he obtained that kind of thing, it would be auctioned for a sky-high price. Moreover, Xiao Xian has quite a lot of treasures. Among them is the full version of the 3 mysterious changes of heaven and fire, which helped the ancient insect-eating insect queens to make ancient insect emperor clothes. These things can definitely fetch sky-high prices. As a businessman, Li Xiao would never miss such a good opportunity, and in this world, there are still things that make all Doudi's blood boil. To successfully break through the realm of Emperor Dou, one needs a kind of energy. Xiao Xian called this energy the original emperor's energy, but the original emperor's energy has been exhausted between heaven and earth, so no one has broken through the realm of Dudi for thousands of years. At the beginning of the birth of the Dou continent, 2 kinds of energy were born in the world. One is the Dou we are familiar with, and the other is the origin qi. You can also understand the origin qi as the origin of the Dou continent. The origin qi has a fixed value, and the world cannot be reborn. As people start to practice, it takes a certain amount of Genesis Qi for a 9-star Dou powerhouse to break through to the Dudi realm. At the beginning, no one cared about the consumption of Genesis Qi. As more and more powerhouses entered the Dudi realm, the Genesis Qi was also consumed. Emperor Tuasha was the last Emperor Dou. He knew that the source energy was about to be exhausted, so he refined an imperial-grade elixir and stored the remaining source Qi in the elixir. The origin of Qidan. P.S. Please collect, read, recommend, thank you guys. End of this chapter. Chapter 94. You are free. You are listening at novelfull.audio. But no one thought that a fault would appear in the Dou continent because of this. No one had set foot on Dou for thousands of years. Many ancient forces were lonely, and even the records of origin Qi were lost. Xiao Xian could feel the existence of origin Qi. It can be seen that Xiao Xian has already half-stepped on the Dudi realm. In order to break through the Dudi realm, Xiao Xian chose the breakthrough location in the heavenly tomb, because the large formation in the heavenly tomb, it can penetrate a small amount of source energy. If there is no surprise attack from the Soul clan, maybe Xiao Xian will really succeed. The natal source Qi inside is also what Li Xiao wants. The Emperor Pill in the system has not been opened yet, and it needs a small amount of natal source Qi to really open it, or wait for the reward from the system. Whether success will be rewarded is unknown. However, Li Xiao didn't rely on the system at all. If he wanted to buy the Emperor-grade elixir, the gold coins he needed to spend were terrifying, and even said that the price had reached sky-high prices, so he couldn't bear it. Unless it is absolutely necessary, Li Xiao will not spend a lot of gold coins to buy imperial pills. Guardian Duck saw that Pavilion Master Li Xiao was unwilling to say anything, so he didn't need to continue asking. All in all, this matter is over. If the jade piece can really be auctioned in the future, the palace master will be very excited. Li Xiao took out a pill and threw it into Xiao Zhan's mouth. With the help of the powerful medicine, Xiao Zhan's original injury recovered at a speed visible to the naked eye. After a while, it returned to its peak. At the same time, Xiao Zhan also slowly woke up, but when he saw Guardian Wu, his face was full of fear. Xiao Zhan still remembered that it was this guy who arrested him. When he fell into the cliff at the beginning, he thought he was lucky enough to save his life, but he didn't expect that just after leaving the wolf's den and entering the tiger's den, Xiao Zhan was arrested almost without warning in front of the Dharma protector. Not even a chance to resist, Xiao Zhan swallowed his saliva. Looked around, and when he saw Pavilion Master Li Xiao, he quickly knelt on the ground. "Senior, save me." Li Xiao said softly, "Don't worry, I won't let them kill you. Your Xiao family has been destroyed, and all the disciples are going to Stone Desert City." The Xiao family was destroyed. Xiao Zhan's expression twisted. "Then the disciples of my clan. More than half of the casualties." Li Xiao could only tell the truth that most of the disciples of the Xiao family died at the hands of the great elder Yunlang, but at this time Yunlang had already fallen, and the Xiao family's revenge could be regarded as revenge. Xiao Zhan's mind was like a thunderbolt from the blue sky, and his whole body directly collapsed on the ground. Tears could no longer be restrained from flowing down. A person in his tens of years was like a child at this moment, helpless. Yun Shan squinted his eyes. If Pavilion Master Li Xiao hadn't tried his best to help the Xiao family, Xiao Yan would have died long ago. In the Doqi continent, the strong are respected and the weak are humbled. Although the Yunlan sect is considered a first-class force in the Jiama Empire, if it is placed in Zhongzhou, it may not even be ranked. There is no need for Yun Shan to offend Dengtian Pavilion because of a dead Yunlang. Besides, he has seen just now that even the Dharma guardian of the Soul Palace is very respectful to Pavilion Master Li Xiao, let alone himself who has just stepped into the Dozong's little spicy chicken. "You go back first," Li Xiao said. "The battle of the Yunlanzong is completely over. Go to the Stone Desert City in the Tagore Desert, where you will meet your clansmen." Xiao Zhan thanked him again and again, knowing that it is not suitable to stay here for a long time. The most important thing now is to find his clansmen and ensure their safety. Looking at the back of Xiao Zhan's leaving, the guardian smiled. "Governor Li Xiao is really chivalrous. I admire him." "It's okay." Li Xiao continued, "The Dharma guardian should also be aware of the things about the Misty Cloud sect." "Ah." Guardian Duck paused. "What you and Yun Shan are doing, I hope to stop here, otherwise, you understand." Yun Shan and Hufa looked at each other, and their expressions changed accordingly. They didn't understand why the other party knew about it. Only Yun Shan and Duck Protector knew about this matter, and never disclosed it to anyone, including Yun Yun, the current suzerain of the Misty Cloud sect. "Teacher, what did you do?" Yun Yun asked curiously. However, Yun Shan did not answer Yun Yun's question face to face, and bowed to Li Xiao with cupped hands, and said in a deep voice, "Your junior understands." Li Xiao nodded, stood up and said, "Now that the 3-year agreement has ended, I will naturally not stay in the Yunlanzong. I hope you two will know about the next thing. Xun'er, come with me." Yun Yun pursed her seductive red lips, but her eyes stayed on the teacher. As the master of Yunlan sect, if she just left like this, she might disappoint the disciples. Yun Shan sighed, and his flat voice resounded throughout the Yunlan sect. "From now on, I will replace the Yunlan sect's suzerain, and Yun Yun will abdicate." As soon as these words came out, all the disciples of the Misty Yun sect waited in a daze, and all of them turned pale in horror. How could it be possible that the position of the suzerain Yun Yun was replaced? "Teacher, you..." Yun Yun asked puzzledly. "I..." "Okay." Yun Shan gently stroked Yun Yun's head. Xun'er was a strong person he had cultivated since he was a child, so he naturally knew that it was impossible for her to give up the great cause of the sect because of her love. Now there is only this way to make Xun'er truly get rid of Yunlanzong. Yun Shan, who has not cooperated with Soul Palace, can be said to be a strong man respected by all people in the world. Yun Shan can distinguish right from wrong, is not an unreasonable person, and will not blindly favor his own people, pay attention to the reputation of the sect, but will not spend a huge price to restore it. Keep a cool head, act rationally, consider whether the price you pay is worth it, and will not set up enemies for no reason. For this reason, you are willing to forgive some rude behaviors of the other party, in order to break through the cooperation between Dozong and Soul Palace. The soul was tampered with by Soul Palace. after being influenced by the Hall of Souls, Yunshan's temperament changed drastically, from loving Qingxiu to being ambitious. Otherwise he is indeed a good teacher. Yunyun bowed her hands helplessly. I understand. Take Yen ran away as well. It is useless for her to stay in the Misty Cloud sect, and there is no need to participate in the Life and Death sect. Yunshan stood with his hands behind his back. This was the only thing he could do to help Xun'er. Yes. Li Xiao smiled slightly, turned around and left the main hall of the Misty Cloud sect, with Bai Ling and Yunyun naturally following behind. Guardian Duck swallowed his saliva and said, Yunshan, do you really want to give up the ability to enhance the power of the sect? Then what else do you think can be done? Yunshan's pupils were indifferent. Since the master of the Tiange Pavilion has already mentioned this topic, he is telling us that enough is enough. If we continue, do you think we can still survive? Or, can your soul hall have the power to fight against Tiange Pavilion? This. Guardian Duck smacked his lips, not knowing how to explain it for a while. End of this chapter. Chapter 95 Canaan Academy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Guardian Duck naturally knew the background of Tiange Pavilion in his heart, and even their soul palace did not dare to say that they could auction off the 8-grade Bodhi pill of the 8-color Sky Thunder, let alone the no. Woolen cloth. Yunshan's reminder was indeed somewhat practical. There was no need for their soul hall to offend the giant Tiange Pavilion because of a small Jia Ma empire. Since that's the case, then we can only cancel the cooperation. Duck Guardian shrugged and said, Yunshan, for the sake of Tiange Pavilion, all the fees will be waived, but if there are any good things in the future, we can still buy them. I hope it can be provided to our soul hall. Yunshan nodded. His Dozong realm was broken through with the help of the soul palace. Although his foundation is unstable, he can be regarded as a real Dozong. He will not break his promise in this life, and he will definitely help get the things he promised to the soul palace. Must. After Guardian Duck laughed, his body naturally turned into a cloud of black mist and disappeared into the hall of the Misty Cloud sect. Outside the Yunlan sect, after Nalan Yanran learned that the teacher was abolished, she didn't understand why the old suzerain did this. She wanted to confront her face to face, but was stopped by Yunyun. This may be a test for them by the teacher. If they can establish a relationship with Tiange Pavilion, in the future, the Misty Cloud sect will definitely surpass the entire northwest continent, and it is not impossible to even be promoted to Zhongzhou. Back then, Yun Patian became famous in the Zhongzhou continent, so Yunshan naturally wanted to learn from his ancestors and carry forward the Yunlan sect. Pavilion Master, where are we going next? Go back. Bai Ling came to Li Zhao's side and asked in a low voice. I heard that there is a kind of strange fire in the Canaan Academy in the Black Horn region. It is called Falling Heart Flame. If you can cultivate it faster, you will get twice the result with half the effort. Although it cannot be compared with Tiange Pavilion, the nourishment is still good. Just a month ago, Li Xiao discovered that the Tiange Pavilion can devour different fires. As long as the different fires are put into the Tiange Pavilion, all the energy in the body will be swallowed up and transformed into special powers in the pavilion to enhance the ascending sky. Overall strength of the court, and it just so happens that Falling Heart Flame is one of them. As the Falling Heart Flame ranked number 14 on the abnormal fire ranking, the person who swallows and refines it can be tempered by the heart flame all the time, so it is called a practice cheat. Fire is born from the heart, quenching the air and refining the bones. Once the Falling Heart Flame is successfully refined, a heart fire will be continuously produced in the body, and this heart fire will burn the battle energy in the body every day and night without any control. During this nearly non-stop tempering, it is as if the body is in a state of cultivation all the time, and the effect of this state of cultivation is better than that of ordinary practice. This kind of cultivation will naturally be much higher than ordinary cultivation, therefore, is called a practice cheat. Now Xiao Yixian and Qinglian are still too weak in cultivation. If they want to quickly advance to Douhuang, they must have more powerful energy. Although Li Xiao can use the system store to make purchases, for him as a businessman, he can't miss it if he can prostitute for free. Bai Ling nodded, and made a virtual grasping motion towards the space in front of him with both hands. The space distorted in an instant, and a huge portal quietly appeared in front of them. Nalan Yanran covered her mouth, widened her eyes and said, "This is, tearing the void. Is it a Dozun strongman?" Bai Ling bowed slightly to the pavilion master and saluted, "Pavilion master, please." Li Xiao stepped into it lightly, and it was the first time that Master Yunyan felt the power of the Dozun strongman. He tore apart the space with one hand and completed the space docking. This is the Dozun strongman, so terrifying. After they walked in, the scene in front of them had already changed. From the original Misty Cloud sect, they directly crossed tens of thousands of miles to the notorious Black Horn domain. Canaan College is divided into inner and outer colleges. Those freshmen recruited from all over the mainland will practice in the outer college. When their strength reaches a certain level, they can participate in the annual inner court selection competition, and as long as you enter the top, in the selection competition, you will be eligible to enter the inner court. The inner court is different from the outer court. The outer court of Canaan College is just a place to test new students. The real core of Canaan College is the inner court. In the courtyard, Bai Ling stepped lightly on the void with her right foot, and ripples rippled in the void, and the ripples dissipated. She had also found the location of Canaan College. "Master, I found it. Let's go." Li Xiao nodded, relying on Bai Ling, the 9-ranked Dozun, to find the location of Canaan College in the Black Horn region was a piece of cake. Yunyan also held Nalan Yanran's hand to prevent her from falling from the sky. Today, Nalan Yanran has not broken through the realm of Dou Wang and cannot transform her fighting spirit into wings. She can only walk upright in the air with the help of her teacher. In just an instant, the four of them had arrived at Canaan College located in the Black Horn area. Under the strong sense of oppression, all the students of Canaan College cast their eyes in awe. What kind of terrifying power is this? With just a breath, they can't even lift their heads. It's such a terrifying power, I feel the fighting spirit in my body is boiling. It's terrible, there are enemies invading, go and report to the Great Elder. As soon as the voice fell, several figures sped out from the inner courtyard at high speed, rushing towards the location of the outer courtyard. It's the Great Elder, they even came out. My God, what kind of strong man is the other party? Even the Great Elder was alarmed, it's too scary. Everyone leave the outer courtyard immediately, hurry up. The outer disciples were all surprised, but they didn't expect that the Great Elder in the inner courtyard was also shocked. The elders of the outer sect naturally knew the strength of the Comer, and quickly arranged for the law enforcement team to disperse the disciples of the outer sect, so as not to cause unnecessary trouble in the battle. Bai Ling looked into the distance and said softly, "Pavilion master, here comes a Dou Zong and several Dou emperors." At this moment, Li Xiao could already feel the strong men flying from a distance, and the leader of the Dou Zong should be Su Qian, the Great Elder of Canaan College. As soon as the words fell, an old man in a black robe appeared in front of several people. The old man had white beard and white hair, and his eyes were as cold as a blade. "Su Qian, the Great Elder of Lower Canaan College, I don't know what they are talking about here." Su Qian's voice was a bit respectful. As a 3-star Dozong, he could naturally feel the aura of several people. He knew Yun Yun, the master of Yunlan sect, Dou Huang strong man. As for the other two, he felt as if the gods descended from the earth. Thrilling, Li Xiao took a step forward, and said, "I'm Li Xiao, the master of Tiange Pavilion, and I have met Elder Su Qian." "What, you are Li Xiao, the owner of the Tiange Pavilion?" Hu Qian, the vice president of the outer sect, suddenly narrowed his pupils. As the peak Dou Huang, he had heard rumors about the Black Horn region. End of this chapter. Chapter 96 The Beautiful Woman, Xiao Xun'er. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It was once rumored in the Black Horn region that a vast auction house appeared out of thin air in the Warcraft Mountains in the east of the Jiama Empire. The auction house here is powerful, and the items sold are the only ones in the world, not only Qinglian Dixinhuo, which is number 19 in the different fire list, but also the 8th grade Fuling Qing Dan, the 2-color Tianlei, each of which can be called a sky-high price. Elder Su Qian frowned. He didn't know what happened in the Jiama Empire. He had been in seclusion for a while recently. Seeing the expression of Vice President Hu Qian, he felt a little bit of surprise in his heart. it is rare in the whole Black Horn region to make who do terrifying things. Hu Gan told all the deeds of Tiange Pavilion. Su Qian was quite surprised when she heard it. She never thought that there would be such a terrible auction house in the small northwest continent. It's appalling. Su Qian smacked her lips and said, so it's brother Li Xiao, the owner of the Tiange Pavilion. Sorry for your disrespect. Do you dare to call the pavilion master a brother? Bai Ling's beautiful eyes flashed coldly. Su Qian only felt that his blood vessels seemed to be frozen, and his breathing couldn't help but become rapid, and even the battle energy in his body began to whirl, as if he would explode and die in the next second. Lark. Li Xiao gave a soft drink. Seeing this, Bai Ling could only take back his coercion, but still stared angrily at elder Su Qian in front of him. In the entire Douqi continent, no one who could be called a brother and brother with Lord Pavilion Master has yet to be born. After Bai Ling's coercion passed away, elder Su Qian took 2 steps back unconsciously, clutching his chest, and said with the vicissitudes of life, what a terrifying power, is it a strong Dou Zun? Don't ask if you shouldn't. Elder Su Qian took a deep breath, calmed down the irritable fighting spirit in his body, and bowed his hands. I have offended you just now. I hope Pavilion Master Li Xiao will not blame you. It's okay, I wonder if I can talk further. Li Xiao said lightly. Naturally, Hugan prepares the rest room. Su Qian quickly ordered Hugan to prepare, and at the same time took out the tea leaves that he had treasured for decades, and entertained several outside powerhouses. Yes. Without saying a word, Hu Gan quickly left the place with several elders from the outer gate. Su Qian respectfully made a gesture of invitation, and immediately led everyone to fly towards the inner courtyard. Since the master of the Tiange Pavilion came, it is naturally impossible for their Canaan Academy to let him stay at the outer gate. Li Xiao walked in the air, although he had not entered the dozo, but with bailing around, it was very easy for him to walk by himself. At this moment, Li Xiao saw a familiar face in the crowd and stopped immediately. Bailing, take Xun'er and Yanran to rest first. I met a familiar person here. Yes, Pavilion Master. Although Yun was a little bit reluctant, she followed Bai Ling and left the outer gate of Canaan Academy. In the past, she had been to Canaan Academy several times, but relying on her own strength, she stayed at the outer gate at most, and never set foot in the inner gate. Li Xiao landed on the ground steadily, staring at the beautiful woman in front of her. The woman was dressed in a purple dress. Her temperament was cold and indifferent like a secular green lotus. The slender waist is like a willow leaf, worthy of a full grasp, and the 3000 blue silk is casually tied with a lilac satin ribbon, and it droops down to the waist along the moving curve. There are 2 small green bells hanging on the wrist, just like the people in the painting. This is what Xiao Yan misses, Miss Gu clan, Xun'er. Xiao Xun'er stared at the man wearing the ghost mask in front of him. The comfort he brought to him was so obvious. Just a breath, the fighting spirit in his body began to boil. The surrounding disciples were also dumbfounded, not knowing who this senior was and why elder Su Qian respected him so much. Xiao Xun'er bit her lower lip lightly, and asked, Senior knows me. Li Xiao said softly, I have heard that there is a beautiful woman in Xiao Nan College, named Xiao Xun'er. She must be a girl. Xiao Xun'er paused in her heart, and silently breathed a sigh of relief. She thought her identity had been discovered, but it turned out to be a false alarm. Senior was joking. Xiao Xun'er cupped his hands in salute. Junior Xiao Xun'er is a disciple of the Xiao family in Wutan City. I ascend to Tiange Pavilion Master Li Xiao. I wonder if Ms. Xun'er is interested in going to the inner gate with me. Xiao Xun'er responded, I'm sorry Pavilion Master Li Xiao, Xun'er is only an outer disciple and is not qualified to enter the inner sect. I hope the Pavilion Master will not blame you. Seeing Xiao Xun'er's refusal, Li Xiao no longer insisted. As the saying goes, a twisted melon is not sweet, and the two have just met, so if they develop directly, it is obviously inappropriate. Since that's the case, I'm being rude. If Miss Xun'er has time, you can go to the Tiange Pavilion in the Warcraft Mountains. There may be things you want in there, including the Emperor's seal. As soon as these words came out, Xiao Xun'er suddenly raised her head, and just about to ask clearly, she found that Li Xiao had disappeared. Xiao Xun'er's expression also changed accordingly. The Emperor's seal. Could it be that if their ancient clan did not pass on the secret technique, the emperor's seal would never succeed? If it is true, why did it appear on Pavilion Master Li Xiao? Who is this person? Could it be someone from the family? But after thinking about it, he rejected this explanation. It is absolutely impossible for the members of the family to put the emperor's seal Ju up for auction. Moreover, those who can get in touch with this level of skills must be the pillars of the family. Li Xiao felt very comfortable to her, but she was very strange. Who is this person? In order to ask clearly, Xun'er immediately came to a remote place and called out Ling Ying, the Douhuang powerhouse who was guarding her. Miss, you call me. Old Ling, what is the identity of Dengtian Pavilion? Why does he have a Dou Zun strongman, and what is the emperor's seal in his mouth? Ling Ying half kneeled on the ground, and respectfully said, Miss, I've heard of Dengtian Pavilion, which is an auction house that appeared out of thin air. Tang Zhen has been there before. Furthermore, in the 3-year agreement of young Master Xiao Yan, Pavilion Master Li Xiao personally went to the Misty Clouds sect to frighten Yun Shan, the master of Misty Yun sect. Not only that, Yun Shan has been promoted to the top of the Dou sect, but he still bows to Li Xiao. I didn't even dare to have any complaints, even if Yun Ling fell, I didn't say a word. Hearing this, Xun'er looked strange. So, the background of Dengtian Pavilion is from the 8 great families? I don't know, but I heard that the other party is still auctioning the strange fire, and even the family can't get that kind of thing. Xun'er frowned and said, the Yunlan sect is steadfast in guarding the Jiama Empire. Ever since Yun Patian, there has been no one who is astonishingly talented and brilliant. Brother Xiao Yan is not bad. He even became the head of the Tiange Pavilion. This kind of strong person is willing to help him. Ling Ying said respectfully, Miss Vision is indeed good. Yes, that little guy might not even dare to underestimate the patriarch in time, but that is on the premise of giving him enough time. Those people in the family now only look at the moment. End of this chapter. Chapter 97. Agreeing to exchange Fallen Heart Flame. Please subscribe, please follow up. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xun'er nodded. Now she cares more about the auction house that Pavilion Master Li Xiao mentioned. After pondering for a long time, Xun'er said softly. Then it means that the emperor's seal mentioned by the other party is the secret technique not passed on by the ancient clan, the emperor's seal. What? Ling Ying turned pale with shock, and regardless of his status as a Douhuang powerhouse, he stood up abruptly, and said almost crazily, how is this possible? How could it be possible for Dengtian Pavilion to have the emperor's seal? Although Ling Ying is just a small fighting emperor, he is the lady's personal bodyguard, and he can also learn from the lady and the head of the family some secret techniques that are not handed down in the family, and the Emperor Yingjue is one of them. During this time, Elder Ling will find a place to rest outside the academy. If nothing happened, there is no need to sneak into the academy. Although those old men are selling our family's face, they are very tough on the rules of the academy. Ling Ying nodded. Well, sometimes the lady rings for me, and I'll be right there. As soon as the words fell, Ling Ying turned into a cloud of black mist and disappeared here. Looking at the green mountains and green waters in the distance, Xun'er couldn't calm down in her heart. If Dengtian Pavilion really has such a background, then what is his background? Canaan College Inner Door Lounge. Elder Su Qian personally filled Li Xiao's tea and said with a smile, Master Li Xiao, please taste it. This is the tea that I have hidden for many years. It is very good. Li Xiao took a sip. Although it was not as good as the tea grown in Dengtian Pavilion, it was still a rare kind, with a mellow taste and a fair aftertaste. Good. Elder Su Qianda sat on the chair and said with a smile, I don't know why Pavilion Master Li Xiao came to our Canaan Academy this time. Seeing Elder Su Qian asked directly, Li Xiao did not intend to continue to hide, and cut straight to the point. I heard that there is a kind of strange fire hidden in Canaan College, called Falling Heart Flame. Hearing this sentence, Su Qian's expression changed obviously, and she quickly denied it. Did Pavilion Master Li Xiao make a mistake? How could our Canaan Academy have a different fire? Who spread the rumors? Seeing that Su Qian didn't want to admit it, Li Xiao just took a sip of tea calmly, which is normal. The falling heart flame under the sky-burning Qi refining tower is the lifeblood of Canaan Academy. If it is just handed over to others, Canaan Academy, the rate at which geniuses are cultivated will drop dramatically. It may even be destroyed. Some people in the Black Horn region are experts who graduated from the Canaan Academy. Although they know the peculiarities of the sky-burning Qi refining tower, they don't know that there is a strange fire inside. Heavenly fire is a strange thing in heaven and earth. Although I don't mind if you trap it in the sky-burning Qi refining tower, I'm also quite interested in falling heart flame. If you have any requests from Elder Su Qian, feel free to ask. I will definitely not refuse when I ascend to Qinga. Su Qian frowned. This suggestion was made by the master of Tiange Pavilion, and he really needs to think about it carefully. Moreover, the current falling heart flame is extremely unstable. If several elders hadn't suppressed it at the same time, the falling heart flame would have broken through the seal long ago. However, with Elder Su Qian's vision, it is only a matter of time before falling heart flame breaks through the seal. Vice President Hugon said in a low voice, "Elder, what should we do?" After pondering for a long time, Su Qian said, "I can give it to you, but what is Pavilion Master Li Xiao willing to give as compensation?" "I can give Canaan College 3 8th-grade pills, plus 5 local low-level fighting skills." As soon as these words came out, everyone in the field stood up one after another. They did not expect that the master of the Tiange Pavilion was so generous. 3 8th-grade pills were already a sky-high price, and 5 local-level martial arts and fighting skills were added, which is really great. Money. Nailan Yanran also showed a hint of surprise. "Teacher, Pavilion Master Li Xiao actually took out the 8th-grade elixir, which is something that even the strong Dou Zun may not be able to eat." "Yanran, don't disturb them." Yun patted the back of Nailan Yanran's hand lightly, signaling him to continue reading. Getting acquainted with Li Xiao was the most correct decision in her life. Su Qian stroked his mustache, and said softly, as expected of the master of the Tiange Pavilion, "You really have some background. Okay, as long as you can take out 3 8th-grade pills, plus 5 local-level low-level fighting skills, Canaan College agrees to the exchange." Seeing the other party being so forthright, Li Xiao also chuckled. It seemed that falling heart flame was ready to move. Otherwise, relying on Elder Su Qian's temper, it would be impossible to hand over the future of the academy to others. With a wave of his hand, the 5 scrolls landed on the table smoothly, and the 3 pills of different qualities were also suspended in the air. Under the powerful medicine, everyone showed greedy expressions. Yes, this is indeed the 8th-grade pill medicine. It was also the first time for Elder Su Qian to see the 8th-grade elixir, and he couldn't help but want to touch it, but his raised right hand suddenly stopped moving, because the 8th-grade elixir had already given birth to spiritual wisdom, and the power of the elixir produced directly formed a small shield. Block the prying eyes of outsiders. Bai Ling dipped his finger in a drop of tea with disdain, and when he waved it lightly, the shield in front of the 3 8th-grade pills instantly shattered, and immediately they were engraved with water-drop-like marks, and landed smoothly on the palm of Elder Su Qian middle. Su Qian swallowed her saliva. "This is indeed the 8th-grade elixir. Great Elder, you can take me to the sky-burning Qi refining tower now." Li Xiao gently put down the teacup in his hand, and couldn't wait to see the so-called fallen heart flame, as well as, the fire under the sky-burning Qi refining tower. The group of unknown creatures. Su Qian regained his composure, hurriedly put away these treasures, and said with a smile, "Of course, the old man keeps his word, so naturally he won't break his word. Please come with me." All the elders line up to prevent that beast from breaking through the seal. Yes. Under the order of Great Elder Su Qian, everyone flew up towards the location of the Tianfen Qi refining pagoda, and the inner disciples also cast curious glances. What's going on today? Why is it so lively? Even the Great Elder took action, so something must have happened. The Tianfen Qi refining pagoda was built by the Dean, Mang Tianqi, for the purpose of suppressing and sealing the underground heavenly flame falling heart flame. At the beginning, he had no way to refine it himself, so he wanted to raise it and refine it when the time was right, but what he didn't know was that besides this falling heart flame, there was also a small falling heart flame underneath. Not only that, but as a fan of fighting the sky, Li Xiao naturally also knows that another big secret of Canaan Academy is the bottom of the burning sky Qi refining tower. That is the final location of Dou Break Sky, and it is also the most dangerous place. If you are not careful, you will fall completely. But getting in is not easy. Many years ago, Yao Tianhua, the venerable Skyfire, came from subduing the fallen heart flame. He never wanted to meet the native creature, the salamander. End of this chapter. Chapter 98 Falling Heart Flame. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It is said that the strength of each salamander has reached the strength of Dou Zun, and even the leading salamander has reached the semi-holy realm. Being besieged by such a group of Dou Zun strongmen, the Skyfire venerable with the same strength as Dou Zun must not be an opponent, and finally died in the here. The bigger secret is still to come down. In the zone where the salamanders live, there is a peerless place hidden below, the Dudi Cave Mansion. In the cave of the last Dudi strongman Tuasha Gudi, the gatekeeper was Zhu Kuan, the patriarch of Taishu Gulong, who was sealed by Tuasha Gudi, who was Xian's father. In the cave, there is also a semi-finished 9th-grade alchemy that was refined by the ancient emperor Tuasha back then, but it has also produced spiritual wisdom and has the strength of a half-step fighting emperor. This cave was left by the previous Dudi Tuasha Gudi, and has the opportunity to advance to Dudi. There are not only the young emperor pills but also the inheritance of the ancient emperors. Either of these two can make the Douxing Peak powerhouse advance to Dou Di. If you want to enter it, you need to defeat the lizard man in the magma. You also need to get all the Tuasha ancient emperor Jade, and defeat Taishu ancient dragon Jukuan before you can enter it. There is also the origin of Emperor Dou, but it is not so easy to get it. One's own strength must be improved as soon as possible in order to pry into the mysteries inside. Pavilion Master Li Xiao, what's the matter with you? Elder Su Qianda couldn't help asking, looking at Li Xiao, who was in a daze. After realizing it, he shook his head. It's nothing, I just thought of one thing. It's nothing. Seeing that the other party was fine, Elder Su Qian and the others waved their hands quickly, and the sky and the earth changed color in an instant, and a terrifying wave of flame set off 100 meters high. The inner disciples were all sent back, for fear that they would be destroyed by this breath if they ran too slowly. Elder Su Qian's expression gradually became irritable. At this time, the fallen heart flame seemed to know his own fate, and he crazily hit the seal, wanting to leave here. However, Su Qian and others didn't know what to do, and wanted to trap it further, so as to give Pavilion Master Li Xiao enough time to seal it. Bai Ling teleported to this place, and said indifferently, Pavilion Master, it's not easy in this magma. Before she finished speaking, Li Xiao stopped her, because he already knew the secret here, and the reason why she didn't say it was because her current strength was not enough. Even if Bai Ling enters it, there is no chance of surviving. He doesn't want Bai Ling to take risks because of himself. At this moment, many experts from the Black Horn region had already arrived here, and the leader was of course the prestigious medicine emperor Han Feng of the Black Horn region. Han Feng has also felt this astonishing deterrent force, and he naturally knows that it is the breath of falling heart flames. Now that he has obtained the full version of Fenju, what is missing is the strange fire that can improve Fenju. Now that I've found it, let's join in the fun no matter what. Han Feng's eyes stayed on the body of the falling heart, and he laughed loudly. It's really easy for me to find. Han Feng, the medicine emperor. Vice President Hu Qian looked indifferently. Who is this old man? It turns out to be Han Feng, the medicine emperor of the Black Horn region. Elder Su Qian's voice was cold, and a sharp look flickered in his eyes. Han Feng laughed. The name of Yao Huang was casually called by friends in Haijiayu, so it can't be taken seriously. Su Qian and the others turned their heads, and said angrily, if you want to grab the strange fire, just say it clearly. Beating around the bush is not in line with your status. Even the leaders of the Blood Sect and the Eighth Sects can invite the Fighting Emperor leaders. This appeal, Blackhorn, you are the only medicine emperor in the domain. The strange fire is a strange thing in heaven and earth, but it is too much for you to seal it here. It is cruel. As an alchemist, the flame is the belief in our hearts. I implore Canaan Academy to release the strange fire. What a joke. Vice President Hugon shook his embroidered robe angrily and said, You're Han Feng's idea, I felt it 3 miles away. The Great Elder is a straightforward person, so Han doesn't go around in circles. You also know how important the strange fire is to us alchemists. As long as you hand over the strange fire to me, no matter what the conditions are, I will try my best to do it. Su Qian sneered, I'm sorry, Yao Huang, I have already transferred the strange fire to someone else. What did you say? Medicine Emperor Han Feng frowned. Could Elder Su Qian be joking with me? Are you willing to transfer the strange fire to other people? When did the old man say something false? Elder Su Qian held his hands behind his back, nodded and said with a smile, my Canaan Academy has been able to stand in the Duki continent for so many years, not just because of my fame. I have already handed over the heavenly flame to the pavilion master of Tiange Pavilion. If you are not convinced, you can give it a try. As soon as these words came out, the Douhuang powerhouses who came from the Black Horn region looked at each other in blank dismay. This guy actually sold the heavenly flame to the pavilion master of the Tiange Pavilion. How could this be possible? It's true, Pavilion Master Li Xiao is right there, but I don't know who yelled, and everyone has already noticed Pavilion Master Li Xiao who is staring at Falling Heart Flame. Even Han Feng, the Medicine Emperor, couldn't help but feel a little bit in his heart. How did he know that Canaan College hides the strange fire? Han Feng murmured in his heart that the strange fire was also his guess many years ago, but there was no actual basis. He thought it was a guess, but he had already felt it after the seal of the Falling Heart Flame loosened, but I didn't expect that the master of the Tiange Pavilion had already set his sights on the Falling Heart Flame. This is not a good sign. Fan Lao and the others hastily bowed their hands and saluted, greetings to Pavilion Master Li Xiao. Han Feng also couldn't stand the malicious flattery from the crowd, so he could only follow them to pay a respectful visit. Pavilion Master Li Xiao, I didn't expect you to be interested in the strange fire here. Li Xiao didn't even turn his head, but said calmly, Han Feng, I have told you many times, some things are destined not to be yours. If you don't want to die, just stay here honestly, otherwise, I will save you too. Not you. There are also gold and silver elders. Could it be that you want to snatch the strange fire? Seeing that Pavilion Master Li Xiao was a little angry, the gold and silver elders hurriedly appeared here, and said with a smile on their faces, Pavilion Master Li Xiao is serious, we just accompany Han Feng to support the scene, and the rest are just floating clouds. Hearing this, Li Xiao didn't bother anymore, as long as they didn't make any small moves, he wouldn't attack them, and besides, as soon as Falling Heart Flame was born, Bai Ling would directly suppress it. Vice President Hu Gan squinted his eyes. As expected of the master of the Tiange Pavilion, he really lived up to his reputation. Just one sentence made Yao Huang Han Feng and the others dare not make any moves. Han Feng had a mournful face. Why every good thing would be taken first by someone, first the bone spirit cold fire, and then the fallen heart flame, why didn't Lady Luck stand by her side? Several powerful men in the Black Corner region looked at each other, but they didn't know what to do. Pavilion Master Li Xiao didn't let them leave, so they naturally didn't dare to take any action. End of this chapter. Chapter 99. The person who knows the current affairs is Junjie. You are listening at novelfull.audio. All the strong men of Canaan Academy showed disbelief. They didn't expect the Medicine Emperor of the Black Horn region to be so timid. Is this the strength of the master of the Tiange Pavilion? Elder Su Qian smacked his lips, and said with a smile, Pavilion Master Li Xiao has an extraordinary bearing, he can shock everyone in the Hejiao region with just one sentence, I admire you. Li Xiao just nodded flatly, turned around and looked at Yun Yun in front of him, and said softly, Xun'er, you should go back first, it's too dangerous here. Yun Yun responded immediately, where you are, I will be there. Hearing this, Li Xiao could only shake his head. Seeing Yun Yun's firm look, he couldn't continue to say anything, but arranged for Bai Ling to protect Xun'er, and if any accident happened, take her away from the sky-burning Qi refining tower as soon as possible nearby. Bai Ling understood, but he used his fighting spirit to form a small barrier around him, which could not only prevent the fallen heart flame from rioting, but also protect the lives of people around him. Time passed by every minute and every second, and everyone's expressions became a little stiff, because the strange fire hit the restriction for so long, and they still haven't rushed out. so it must be tired. In the arena, only Li Xiao, Su Qian, and Bai Ling could see the mystery. The strange fire was accumulating strength, preparing to launch the strongest blow, so as to completely break the final barrier. Suddenly, the surrounding energy began to riot, and fiery flames burned around the Tianfen Qi refining tower like blooming roses. Elder Su Qian's face was solemn, and his hands quickly sealed. All elders obey the order and prepare to welcome the strange fire. Yes, everyone in Hugan quickly put on an attacking posture. Since the people in the Black Corner region will not interfere, they also have the ability to completely control the strange fire. When the Canaan Academy and others were overwhelmed, Fan Yao, the lord of the blood sect, said awkwardly, "That, Emperor Yao, do we need to take this opportunity to leave here?" The medicine Emperor Han Feng replied angrily, "Didn't you hear what Pavilion Master Li Xiao said? We are not allowed to leave his sight. Are you looking for death?" These few words made Fan Lao completely lose his temper. "Yes, they are not qualified to compete with the master of Tiange Pavilion." The corners of the elders' mouths curled up. "Han Feng, you guys stay here." "Huh?" Han Feng frowned. "Mr. Jinin, are you going to disobey Pavilion Master Li Xiao's order?" "Of course not." The gold and silver elders said at the same time, "Of course my two brothers will not disobey the majesty of Tiange Pavilion, but since this strange fire is what Pavilion Master Li Xiao wants, we two brothers naturally have to do a favor. Just repay Pavilion Master Li Xiao." After all, before Han Feng could react, the gold and silver elders had already come to Li Xiao's side. When Elder Su Qian saw that they were actually helping Canaan Academy, he couldn't help casting curious eyes. It seems that Tiange Pavilion is stronger than he imagined. Together, even the gold and silver elders, who have the power to fight against the Dozong, will help Canaan Academy, which is really surprising. Ban Lao, Yuan Yi, the master of the 8 gates, and others also nodded, abandoning the medicine Emperor Han Feng one after another, and resolutely joined the alliance. Han Feng's eyes widened angrily, and he immediately cursed in his heart, "Damn old thing, you betrayed me in public. You don't want to ask me to make pills in the future." And he himself stepped forward involuntarily. There was no need for him to offend the master of Tiange Pavilion because of an unknown fire. If there is a strange fire in the Tiange Pavilion in the future, I will have a chance to auction it, so I might as well take this opportunity to build a good relationship with Li Xiaoga. The aftermath of the alien fire riot still didn't stop, and the powerhouses below Dou Huang of the Canaan Academy retreated one after another. This amazing force not only burned their fighting spirit, but also caused signs of a sudden cardiac arrest. Han Feng frowned and said, "This strange fire has an extraordinary aura, and its level should be above Xun'er. Could it be that it is ranked in the top 10, that the flames were still burning, and even Dou Huang couldn't bear this violent force?" Li Xiao stood with his hands behind his back, looking in the direction of the sky-burning Qi refining pagoda, without any expression on his face, as if all this happened as it should. Falling Heart Flame took the opportunity to go all out, and the formation blocked by Canaan Academy began to diffuse like shards of glass, and finally burst completely. Everyone's eyes were attracted to it at the same time, and some people were so frightened by the breath that their legs became weak, and they even turned their heads and ran away. "A bunch of useless trash." Han Feng scolded. "Don't worry, Pavilion Master Li Xiao, with us here, we will never let this beast do whatever it wants." The Falling Heart Flame has condensed spiritual wisdom, and even evolved into a real body, which has increased its original strength by more than several times. Elder Su Qian originally wanted to use the formation to consume the energy of Fallen Heart Flame, but was stopped by Li Xiao. It was useless to continue to uselessly consume fighting energy, so it was better to let it come out directly. Boom! After the loud noise, the Falling Heart Flame took advantage of the opportunity to rush out of the siege, and the python-like flame let out a deafening roar, and the powerful shock wave instantly enveloped the entire inner gate of the Jia Ma Empire. Noisy, Bai Lingdai frowned slightly, and instantly appeared on top of Luo Xianyan's head. With Li Xiao's permission, she stepped down with her jade feet, and an invisible pressure directly suppressed it. Falling Heart Flame hit the ground heavily without any resistance, splashing a cloud of dust. "This is the power of Dou Zun, it's so terrifying." Elder Su Qian turned pale in shock. Bai Ling slowly walked towards the place where the Falling Heart Flame fell. Every time his footsteps landed, there would be circles of ripples in the void. After the ripples dissipated, Bai Ling's whole body would appear in another position, above the blue sky. The violent energy fluctuations continuously created a sound like muffled thunder. The falling heart flame struggled to crawl out of the rock, staring angrily at the human woman who had just sneaked up on him, and blood-red flames spread out around its body. Bai Lingsu raised his hand, and a small ice-blue tornado suddenly appeared around the Tianfeng Qi refining tower. Between the sky and the earth, the tornado whizzed and spun, and the giant trees on the ground were forcibly pulled out continuously, and then were blown away by the violent whirlwind. Twisted into sawdust, soon, the tornado suddenly soared from the original 1 or 2 meters to tens of meters high, and its speed and strength also increased several times. Looking at the ever-increasing tornado storm, Falling Heart Flame let out an angry roar unwillingly, and shot it with a flick of his tail. Beat the stone with an egg. Go. Bai Ling slowly raised his head to look at the place where the energy of the strange fire fluctuated violently. A little cold light flashed in his beautiful eyes, and he saw slowly raising his right hand, and gently pressing down with his Qianqianyu finger. The tornado actually charged directly towards the location of the Falling Heart Flame. End of this chapter. Chapter 100. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Falling Heart Flame's pupils shrank suddenly, and it was too late to escape. The energy erupted by the 9-rank Dou Zun was enough to destroy the world, let alone a small strange fire. Ordinary Dou Zun can completely suppress it, but Bai Ling's strength is infinitely close to the semi-sage realm, and if combined with the heaven-level kung fu, even a semi-sacred peak can have the power to fight. A bang. Falling Heart Flame's huge body fell down without warning, and the powerful shock wave instantly burst the ground where it was standing, kicking up dust hundreds of meters high. Everyone at this moment has already been dumbfounded by shock, and they all froze in place. Is this the real strength of Dou Zun? How terrifying! Bai Ling stared at the Falling Heart Flame in the dust indifferently. In order to prevent it from counterattacking when it was about to die, he specially used his fighting spirit to form a small space barrier and firmly trapped it inside. So far, the strange fire can be regarded as a perfect suppression. Han Feng rolled his eyes, immediately took a step forward, bowed his hands and saluted. Congratulations to Pavilion Master Li Xiao for subduing the strange fire. Seeing this, the rest of the people also sent blessings one after another. Obviously, they also wished to have a relationship with Dengtian Pavilion. If they had the help of the great Buddha of Dengtian Pavilion, then their status would be supreme. In the entire Black Horn region, no one can be their opponent. Elder Su Qian snorted coldly in his heart. This group of guys are really good at timing. Their careful thinking can be heard, miles away. Everyone is serious. Li Xiao smiled lightly. Although this matter is not as important as these guys, but verbal meaning is still necessary. Thank you for your help in today's matter. I will set up a few tables in the Canaan Academy in Dengtian Pavilion to entertain all my friends. I hope you will give me some face. Elder Su Qian nodded, turned around and looked at the vice president who gone behind him, and immediately arranged for people to prepare the banquet. Although Su Qian didn't want to entertain these bastards from the Heijiao domain, it was explained by Pavilion Master Li Xiao, and they also I can only readily agree. Otherwise, if it spreads out, they would think that Canaan Academy has a small stomach. Medicine Emperor Han Feng smiled and said, naturally, since you said it, how could we save your face? After all, Han Feng, the Medicine Emperor, took the lead, took out a special scroll full of strange runes, and offered it with both hands. This is a prescription I got by chance a few years ago, but there are restrictions on it, and it needs to be read by a strong fighter before it can be opened. If you don't have the qualifications to open the scroll tonight, why don't you borrow flowers to present the Buddha and give it to you as a congratulatory gift for subduing the strange fire? Oh. Hearing this, Li Xiao raised his eyebrows, and took the strange scroll from Han Feng, which contained a strange aura of runes, which can only be opened by the strong Dou Zun, and it must be above the 8th rank prescription. It is indeed a good thing. Unexpectedly, Han Feng doesn't look very good, but he still has a bit of beauty when he does things. It's just that Li Xiao didn't open the scroll in front of everyone, but planned to open it after returning to Dengtian Pavilion. Otherwise, if something special is going to appear inside, Han Feng will probably die of distress. when the rest of the people saw the great gift from the medicine emperor, they could only be forced to take out the most precious things on their bodies to congratulate them. Otherwise, if it is spread by outsiders, they will think that they have no strength. Naturally, Li Xiao never refused the presents one after another. In order to express his gratitude, he even bought a 7th-order Dozong-level monster corpse directly from the system as today's finale. After learning that they could taste the meat of the 7th-level monsters, the powerhouses in the Black Horn region wept with joy. 7th-level monsters are also extremely rare in the entire Duqi continent. See you, I didn't expect Pavilion Master Li Xiao to make such a great move, he is really a god. That night, a total of dozens of tables were set up in the inner courtyard of the Canaan Academy, and most of the people who came to eat were prominent and powerful people from the Black Corner region, and even some hidden Dou Huang also came to congratulate, just like the th birthday, in order to show their own strength. Everyone spared no effort to spend a lot of material resources to make themselves superior to others. Li Xiaoduan sat on the main seat, and beside him were naturally Xun'er, Su Qian, Yao Huang Han Feng and others, but Bai Ling stood behind, not sitting with the pavilion master. The master and the servant are different, and the rules are strict. If other people see the servant eating at the same table as the master, they will be insulted no matter what, and even serious cases will be dragged out and beaten to death with sticks. So up to now, there has never been a case of a servant eating with his master. Bai Ling would naturally bring gossip to the pavilion master. So he naturally stood behind him, alert to the movement around him. If someone took this opportunity to sneak attack on the pavilion master, she would be able to suppress him immediately. Elder Su Qian picked up his wine glass and said with a smile, "Thank you Pavilion Master Li Xiao for your warm hospitality. I have never tasted the meat of a 7th-order monster in so many years. Today is a real treat." "Great Elder, you are welcome. If you like it, I have a 7th-order monster here, and I will give it to you." Hearing this, Su Qian smiled brighter, and drank the wine in a glass in front of everyone. The rest of the people also came forward to toast, hoping to get acquainted with Pavilion Master Li Xiao, and if there is a chance in the future, they can bother Dengtian Pavilion. At this moment, a childish voice came from not far away, and the vigilant inner disciples avoided it, for fear of offending the ant. "Old man Su, this is a visitor." The right hand that had just picked up the wine glass suddenly stopped. Li Xiao slowly turned his head, and a girl came into view. The girl has purple hair and looks exquisite. A little girl in white who looks to be over 12 or 13 years old. The purple eyes and purple hair turned into a purple gold color, the long hair hangs down to the buttocks, and the delicate body is long. "Why are you here?" Elder Su Qianda's voice was a little helpless. Obviously, seeing this little ancestor, he was angry and didn't dare to vent his anger. "Who told you not to give me herbal medicine?" The visitor curled his lips, his eyes shifted to a large piece of monster meat on the table, and his eyes lit up. "This is the meat of a 7th-level monster." "Old man Su, when did you have such a good thing? It's much more delicious than herbal medicine." Ziyan couldn't wait to run over, and in front of everyone, grabbed a piece of meat and put it in her mouth, chewing with satisfaction. Elder Su Qianda sighed, "I'm sorry Pavilion Master Li Xiao. Her name is Ziyan, she is a girl I met a few years ago. Seeing her pitiful, I brought her to the inner courtyard for training." Li Xiao nodded, he had already recognized his identity. End of this chapter.